Hello all, good evening and welcome to Conura WWC's webinar on studying in Canada. I am once again Sumanth Palepu, one of the directors of Conura, and myself an MBA from IIM Kozhikode with an experience of over 7 to 8 years in training students in helping them reach their career dreams, which include studying abroad. And my expertise comes with the country of Canada. Alright, so before I get started, I would like to give a couple of more minutes for our other friends to join in. Those of you who have already joined in, I'm sure once again a hi to everyone. You can start sharing your doubts, questions, pleasantries like hi, good evening, etc. on our YouTube chat so that the interaction starts, will begin. And in a couple of minutes, we'll get started with this webinar focusing on what kind of courses and specializations one should choose to get a good career in Canada. Alright, so I'll just give a minute or so. I know it's 6 p.m. on my watch, but just a minute for our friends who are logging in right now. So in that 1 minute, we'll get started. Great. So for all of my friends who have joined in over the last couple of minutes, as I said, I am Sumanth Palepu. Myself, I train, I guide students, especially those of you who are looking to study abroad on across various countries. My expertise being Canada. Myself an engineer, and then I did my MBA from IIM Kozhikode with vast experience of guiding students to studying abroad into good universities. So today I would be taking a session or on what kind of courses and specializations one needs to choose to get a good career in Canada. In fact, I have previously have done a webinar which will help you to understand the kind of colleges, universities which are present in Canada and how do we what is the difference, what is the kind of comparison between all of these and what each of them will offer to you. So those of you who have missed that webinar, I would request you to have a look at that video which is present in Conura WWC YouTube channel that will help you to give a little more insights on the kind of colleges and universities and the way they operate in Canada. Alright, but today I would be specifically focusing on the courses and specializations which you need to look at to consider yourself a good career opportunity in Canada. Yes, I would be answering a few questions like, sir, can I take a shift in my specialization? I am a mechanical engineer. Could I be looking at an opportunity in computer science? And all such kind of frequently asked questions also I would take it up. I have been receiving a lot of questions during when I was putting up all the teasers and trailers. So all those questions I did consolidate. I would also showcase to you a few of the stories, success stories of my own students who have traced fantastic careers in Canada. That will also help you to connect to the kind of profiles Canadian universities or colleges look forward to, helps you to understand a lot more of your concerns. In the meanwhile, in case you have any doubts or questions and you would like to keep asking me or my other experts who are available on the chat of YouTube, we can start sharing across your doubts and questions, your profiles, etc. My experts are available. I am available. The whole idea of the next half an hour to 40 minutes is to give you some kind of a guidance on the kind of courses and specializations you need to choose to help yourself a fantastic career in Canada. Alright, so not with much delay, let me start straight away get into the content. I am also using a presentation so that some of the important elements I would like you to follow, I put them across on a presentation. Now, the first thing I would like to talk about are what are the popular programs in Canada. Yes, you might be from any kind of a background, but do understand, appreciate computer science, mechanical engineering, civil, electrical, MBA, pharmacy. These are possibly some of the top functioning areas which have good career opportunities in Canada. if you were to ask me to pick and choose a few of them, computer science is doing good. Pharma. Now, why do I focus specifically on pharma? That is also because typically Canada is an agricultural background. It's a country which has a lot of agricultural element behind it. So that is where they give importance to agri and the pharma background too. So yes, people who are looking into who have come from pharma background, fantastic. Canada is a real good destination for you. There's one more area Canada also specifically gives importance to, and that is MBA. In fact, people say that doing management education in Canada is actually as good as doing a management education in the US as well. And when I say so, don't even look at Canada to be a sister country to US. That's exactly how most of the people have an opinion. They see it as a secondary option compared to the US. But do understand, Canadian public universities rank among one of the best, comparable, if not better, than the US universities too. So a career in Canada is of course promising and no mean lesser than a career in the USA, right from the education system to the kind of job opportunities you get in the Canadian segment itself. So those of you looking for a computer science career, a pharma career, a management career, surely one of your top priorities has to be Canada. Yes, people who come from mechanical and civil as well, because structural engineering etc. in civil engineering today has taken a high precedence in Canadian colleges. So they also give an importance to that, including your electrical engineering. So these are the fundamental core areas where Canadian universities and colleges offer you one of the best courses globally, thus helping you to get good career opportunities. Now, I would also get into a slight deep down on what is happening in each of these areas. So when I say computer science, what kind of area should we be looking at? Alright, now if you look at the slide which is in front of you, there I have broken down into three parts. One, what kind of specializations will help you to get good career opportunities? What are the kind of top companies which recruit from Canadian colleges and universities? Plus, which are the kind of colleges or universities which offer these specific courses, possibly among the best? That is how I've broken down into every course into. So if I am a computer science engineer, these are the kind of specializations I should be looking in Canadian colleges and universities. Now, if I am able to get into one of these specializations from one of these colleges, surely I am creating myself a fantastic career opportunity in Canada. This is where I would like you to also make you understand. In Canada, if you look at it broadly, the education institutions are divided into three categories. What we call as colleges, the private universities and the public universities. Now each of this category has its own advantages, has its own criteria and list. In fact, this table for you is possibly has to be a market table for you. In fact, this table actually will help you to understand the complete comparison scenario across various colleges happening in Canada. And of course, this is totally created in-house. I am not too very sure whether you're aware of as an organization, Conura WWC. Do understand that Conura itself as an organization is one of the top training companies in this country, specifically preparing students for GRE, IELTS and various other examinations. In fact, in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, we are possibly one of the largest. And our Conura WWC, the worldwide division, is the one which helps students to reach into their dream universities, dream colleges, to ensure that they are studying in their dream colleges abroad. So we deal with multiple countries which include the US, Canada, Australia, UK, Ireland, you name across the globe. We have we have experience of training and sending lakhs of students out there who are right now tracing successful paths. So each of us come with that kind of an experience. Our all endeavor right now is to give you that experience, to give you the guidance using that experience, so that each one of you attending this webinar are also rightly guided to help yourself a good career as well. So going back to the comparison table I have put across. Now if you look at typically colleges, initially they were also referred to as the SPP colleges, the Student Partnership Program colleges. They usually offer a diploma, postgraduate diploma kind of a courses, 2-year courses. But the beauty here is that the kind of criteria required to get into these colleges is a lot more easier compared to getting into universities. Purely as a comparison, public universities in Canada are possibly the top. They are possibly the best available universities. If you look at the kind of packages people coming out get is anywhere between 5,000 to 8,000 Canadian dollars per month, and every Canadian dollar right now is around 55 to 54 rupees. So that's a fantastic opportunity to start off with. Now, public universities, of course, are challenged to get into because these are possibly the top universities across the globe. They expect a IELTS score of 7 or no band less than 6.5. Comparatively, your colleges expect a band of 6 to 6.5. Now, public universities, especially the top public universities, do not accept backlogs compared to something like a college or a private university, which still accept backlogs in Canada, for an admission. Because one of the common questions students keep asking me is that, sir, I have backlogs, can I apply to Canadian colleges? Alright. In fact, one of the questions a student has asked me, sir, I have a band. I think Lakshman Kumar has been asking this question. Sir, 7 band in IELTS, a good score for Masters in Mechanical Engineering. Lakshman, amazing. In fact, yes, you have a band which is 6, fair enough, but still I believe you can give yourself a shot into public universities because 7 band is a good enough requirement for public universities. Though their expectation is that no band less than 6.5, but something like a reading, I still believe you can take a chance. Do share across your profile with us. We will evaluate it. We will look at what kind of public universities, and I repeat, public universities in Canada are on par with the kind of top universities in the US. You talk about the McGill universities, you talk about the top universities. In fact, I'm going to talk about mechanical engineering in some time. Then I'll show you the kind of colleges and universities mechanical engineering students should be looking at. Now, with your score, I would like to more understand about your profile, of course, too, your academics, the backlogs, the kind of projects you have done, because today, as you are aware, it's just not about an IELTS score. The kind of profile you're bringing to the fore also becomes very critical, might it be for the US admission or Canadian university admission. So yes, Lakshman, to answer your question, you have a very good chance. Okay, do share your profile with us. You can always register with us. You can always click on the link we provide, just or a missed call to the number which is being mentioned out here. One of our experts will get in touch with you. We will look at your profile and help you to evaluate which kind of college you should be looking at. All right. Now there was also one more question asked, sir, what is the estimated tuition fee? I believe that is the answer being given by our own experts. So you can look at an estimated tuition fee of around 20 to 30 lakhs when you're looking at studying in Canada for a couple of years. Right now, going back to the comparison I have put across. So if you look at colleges versus private universities, public universities, each of them have their own set of advantages depending on the kind of profile you bring in. If you are a person who had an IELTS score of 6 with the backlogs of around 5 to 7, and you are looking at with a bachelor's degree of 3 to 4 years, then I would probably suggest you to look at colleges more than universities. See, end of the day, the whole object is very simple. Where do I have a better chance to succeed? All right, it's not about the best alone. Yes, each of us want to get into the best, but also understand the best for me becomes even more critical. So depending on your profile, you might have to understand, okay, do I have a better chance to get into a public university or a private university or a college, as a result a good career opportunity. Now that brings me to the second part of this. When I talk about colleges, universities, public universities, these are a few of the sample set of good colleges, good institutions which are a part of colleges. For example, your Humber, Centennial are one of the good colleges in Canada. And similarly, if you look at your private universities as well, you have your FDU University, which the Vancouver campus is again ranks among one of the top universities. And as I said, the McGill University, the University of British Columbia are possibly the best, one of the best set of universities across the globe. All right. Now, another very critical element students keep asking me, especially with the kind of concern which is going around in visas globally. Sir, what are the chances of visa rejection? You get an admission into a private or public university, the rejections are extremely negligible in Canada. Yes, some of the colleges which are inferior, you might still have a chance of rejection. But this is where understand that Canada has today come out with a program, or with a stream called as a student direct stream. This is specifically focused for Indian students and of course China, Philippines and Vietnam as well. The whole objective of SDS model is to ensure a faster visa for students from India. Now that's a good news for us. Now when I say faster, how fast? Typically the Canadian visa processing will take you 7 weeks. But if you're going through an SDS program, it is what, hardly 45 days or less. In fact, SDS is actually a replacement to SPP. The earlier SPP, the Student Partnership Program, has been replaced with SDS. Now, as a result, what is the advantage? SPP allowed you to apply to only 40 plus, or a fewer higher number of colleges. But the beauty about SDS is that it suddenly has opened all the kind of options. That means many, in fact, more than hundreds of colleges and universities. And I talk about universities, I talk about public universities also, today are a part of SDS program to recruit Indian students. That means your options have increased. So the chance of a visa rejection has gone down drastically. The visa processing time has improved immensely. The number of college options for Indian students through SDS is right now huge. And if you get into through an SDS, you have a better opportunity for jobs and PR too, which is a good news, and eventually a very less financial documentation. Yes, they have a requirement which they have mentioned. For example, you should be looking at an IELTS score of 6 bands in each of the module. Your reading, listening, speaking and writing. Alright, and that particular institution which is offering you an admission should be one which has a DLI. These are still an easier elements to take care of it. But the beauty here is that thanks to the SDS program, the entry into Canadian colleges and universities has become so easy. The visa has become so easy. And now that is the reason why a lot of Indian students today are very excited about Canada as a learning opportunity. They would like to go to Canada and study for two reasons. One, of course, as I said, the kind of colleges and universities present are there today are comparable. Maybe a few years back, US was the monopoly. It was dictating the market. But suddenly Canada started racing and competing with the US. That's one reason. The second reason why a lot of Indian students go to Canada is also because the kind of specializations which were offered earlier were limited to a few areas. MBA, yes Canada. Pharma, yes Canada. Maybe computer science engineering. But today, it has opened up. Mechanical engineers are doing good career out there. Electrical engineers are doing good career out there. So suddenly the opportunities in Canada has increased and a lot of investment has started coming into the country, and as a result, the requirement for a lot of working manpower has increased, and they started looking at Indian students as a potential workforce. Now that is an opportunity once again for our Indian students. Now the third and a very fantastic reason why a lot of people look to go to Canada, and I'm sure this is something which you would have heard also, has been the speed and the ease at which you can get your PR. Is it true? Oh, let me answer that game also. So what is this Canadian PR game people talk about? Now if you look at it typically, any Canadian college you do your masters or your diploma or postgraduate diploma, what you initially get is a temporary PR. Now, after you get that, you can start applying for PR within 2 to 3 months of your pay slips. That means you get a job, you can apply it. If you are working in a cold province like Alberta or Saskatchewan, it takes you just 1 year to get your Canadian PR. Now, understand, just 1 year. Yes, in moderate places like Toronto or Vancouver, you might take close to 3 years to get, but still 1 to 3 years is what a Canadian PR takes for you to get yourself the PR. Now that is suddenly seen as a fantastic opportunity, because the minute you have a Canadian PR, there are multitude of advantages. A, you get loans. B, you can move across the provinces. So though you might have initially worked in a cold province like Saskatchewan, got yourself a PR, immediately you can shift to Vancouver. Alright, now that is the advantage the Canadian PR provides. You get bank loans, you can set up businesses in Canada. So now the opportunity itself for you is humongous. A lot of Indian students also, post they get their Canadian PR, look at transitioning themselves into the US too in the job market. So it offers you multiple advantages, and that's one of the reasons why Indian students tend to look at Canada as a good career opportunity. Alright, also because of the PR ease and speed which it comes out. Alright, now let me then come back to mechanical engineering. Yes, I think a couple of them have asked about mechanical engineering. Now, if you look at mechanical engineering as an opportunity in Canada, there are of course specializations like as I mentioned earlier too, industrial engineering, your machine design and learning. These are all becoming very important. The automotive management, etc. And a lot of good companies like the WSP, etc. are fantastic companies which recruit mechanical engineers. And as I mentioned, if you look at the University of Calgary or the University of Montreal, University of Alberta, these are one of the top universities, just not in Canada but globally also. Now, the acceptance of mechanical engineers in Canada has increased, the recruitment has increased, and all of them offering you good opportunities too. Yes, that is where mechanical engineering is also becoming a very sweet spot today for people looking at career in Canada. Similarly, electrical and electronics, if any one of you are looking at being an electrical and electronics engineer, understand that itself today has given you a more opportunity. In fact, one of my students, something like a George Brown College, Sheridan College, Saskatchewan Polytechnic, yes, this of course gives you a postgraduate diploma. Wherever you see universities, you have the master's degree. Wherever you see colleges, typically they have your postgraduate diploma or your certificates. All right. So now, if you look at any of these streams, the opportunities have suddenly started becoming better and better. Yes, I know, putting all this list in front of you might be a little overbearing for you, but understand, in case you need any specific guidance depending on your profile, as I mentioned, it all boils down to the profile. So if I were an expert and if I were to guide you, if I am your mentor, which I have been to thousands of students, and I'm mentoring a student, what do? I don't just give them, hey, apply to this university, apply to this college. I first try to understand the student's profile. Try to understand, okay, what are the student's ambitions? What kind of career a student is looking forward to? Because today's generation, each one of you have your goals, have your objectives. So you might be coming out with the thought process, sir, I would like to pursue my masters in possibly wireless information networking. And then in that case, I would have an understanding about how much is your profile suits into that. What kind of colleges offer the best courses in wireless information networking, and that changes from a specialization to specialization. One college might be is possibly brilliant in one specialization but might not be good in another specialization. So it all boils down to evaluating your profile, understanding your profile, understanding your career aspiration, the fitment to that college and that course and the specialization, and the job opportunity. End of the day, you really don't want to get into a specialization or a college where you don't get a placement or you don't get a job opportunity. What fun it is by investing 20 to 30 lakhs to study in Canada, but not getting a job. Any PR also does not happen just because you have studied in Canada. It happens because you also get a job post your studies. So all of these are linked. Studies, and then your job opportunities, the market reception, and then the PR, and then of course you go bonkers about the career in Canada, right? So all these are intertwined, and when you are trying to take a decision, ensure that you are meeting the right guide, the right expert, somebody who understands you better, not somebody who just talks about a few universities, somebody who understands you from as a student, understands you as a career, as a mentor, and then take the right decision and do the right application. Clear? Now, one of the areas I would like to focus, before I really move on to some of the case studies I wanted to share with you, is the business management. Alright, I think Alapati Alekna has asked me a question. She says, sir, I am pursuing electrical and electronics engineering branch. Sir, is Canada college are good for this or not? And this branch is containing jobs or not? In fact, Alekna, I just showcased the Canada, the electrical electronics engineering kind of specializations, the kind of companies and good colleges. As I said, I have already identified this as a good opportunity in Canada. So if you are a electrical and electronics engineer, yes, Canada is surely an option you need to consider. All right. It of course also boils down to the kind of profile you have, your credentials, and your career aspirations. All that comply, then in that case, Canada is a good destination. Now, Teja has asked me one more question, and Teja did ask me a fantastic question: agriculture engineering. Teja, as I said, Canada itself, the base of Canada has been an agricultural country. So, pharma and agriculture are possibly one of the, across the world, one of the best career opportunities are provided in Canada. So, if you are an agriculture engineer and you are looking to could pursue a career in that area, Canada is surely not a miss for you. All right, so that's where it becomes even more important. All right, then I keep moving on. As I said, one of the areas, business management. In fact, this is something which you would, if you look at the kind of companies which are there, Microsoft, Tesla. I mean, I know today, Elon Musk is somebody everybody adores. Tesla is, it recruits a lot of people from the management education in Canada. And the York universities, the Columbian College, trust me, these possibly are one of the best universities and colleges you'll ever see across the globe. Canada is known for its management education. In fact, I know a lot of my own students who pursued their MBAs, or business management courses in Canada, and are doing phenomenally well today in their careers. All right, and that is just not in Canada. A business management in Canadian university is actually respected globally too. That means you have done a master's from York University, you travel anywhere across the globe. Oh, fantastic! Your profile is considered to be a James Bond profile. So do not. In fact, if you are looking for a career in management education, business management education, Canada is surely one of the options. Of course, the other country I always talk about when it comes to business management has always been the UK. We will deal it when we are looking at career opportunities and the courses to be done in the United Kingdom. But for now, Canada is a very good destination in that sense. All right. Now, as I mentioned, pharmacy and science are of course one of the kingpin courses which are offered in Canada. So those of you who come from that kind of background, yes, you should be looking at Canada as a very good opportunity. University of Toronto, Alberta are amazing in that sense, and there are multitude of specializations which are offered for a pharma student. Now let me share a few of the successful students of mine, of our organization, Connie WWC, who have actually done very good career. So I am trying to pull in people from various backgrounds. So if you look at this gentleman, he is a BTech in computer science. IELTS was 6.5, no band less than 6. He has not taken GRE because, as I mentioned, GRE is not mandated, barring the top public universities in Canada. The rest of the Canadian colleges or universities predominantly look at your IELTS score. So GRE itself is not mandated there. Now this person is working with Adobe Systems in Canada. He has done it from University of Edmonton, and that too in information system security management. So look at the kind of career graph he has gone into. And as I mentioned, anybody who is right now, the kind of minimum package you can expect would be anywhere between 5,000 to 8,000 Canadian dollars. So it would be 5,000 to 8,000 Canadian dollars. Okay. Now that is into your 54 if you look at the bare minimum, and you are looking at a salary of more than 2.5 to 3 lakhs, or in fact up to 4 lakhs per month. These are all monthly salaries, right? Now this lady, again a 2007 electrical engineering pass out. She has done her postgraduate diploma. Now she is not from a university, but she is from a college in web application, and of course today she is working in a similar salary bracket in Accenture. Alright, so that is again one more good transition which has happened. Now a pharma student has done her masters in public health from University of Regina, and today she is working with Alberta Health Services. BCom, now understand, not an engineer, BCom, general category, MBA in University of Canada, and this person is right now working with Investment Management Corporation of British Columbia. Understand, being with British Columbia Investment Management Corporation is an amazing career opportunity. Now these are all not very high IELTS score. I'm talking about average students like you and me who have pursued fantastic careers. Yes, now mechanical engineer, somebody was talking about mechanical engineer with a 65 percentage in their graduation with an IELTS score of 6.5. They have done applied mechanical designing course, and right now they are working with Quest Global Engineering Colleges, engineering company. Alright, triple E background, now is working with energy services. See, understand the advantage what a place like Canada provides you. Now you are an electrical engineer, trying to get into an energy services in India is extremely challenging, isn't it? Let's all accept the reality. But the beauty about Canada is that the diversity of the industries which are present there, the kind of companies which are present there, suddenly gives you an opportunity irrespective of the kind of stream you come from. So that is where a mechanical engineer, electrical and electronics engineer, electrical engineer, your electrical and communication engineer, a management education, pharma background, agriculture background, you can come with a diverse mix and still you can look at a good career opportunities. Now this is where another question comes up to me, generally a kind of question asked by student. Sir, can I change my specialization? Can I shift the area? I am a mechanical engineer. Can I move out? See, very honestly, as a fresher, it would be challenging for you to shift your specialization because you need to come out with the right profile, the right statement of purpose to say why you are looking to shift. Have you done some kind of projects previously which supports your cause? So all that is a metric of contingent on the kind of your background you put across. But if you're a person who has experience or you have a case to prove them that, hey, I am interested in a particular area I would like to shift to, I have done some background work, so I'm looking to shift, then of course you can shift. Okay, that possibility, that openness is there. It all depends on the kind of profile, the kind of build up you're putting, the story you're showcasing to the recruiting college on why you're looking for that kind of a specialization. Yes, let me take up a few more questions. As I said, because we are all running on a very limited webinar time today, in case you have more questions, multiple questions, do ensure that you are registering yourself for a one-to-one interaction with the experts. It's a free interaction. There's nothing you need to pay. End of the day, you get a free guidance. Why not take it up? You can have an interaction with me. You just have to register for that one-to-one interaction. Myself or my experts will get in touch with you. Will try to help you to understand, to first of all understand your profile, because in a generic webinar like this, I need to cover multiple areas, understanding the fact that the multiple audiences are going to be present. But when it comes to one-to-one interaction, I can spend a lot more time with you, or my experts can lot more time with you, understand your profile, your background, the kind of work you have done, the kind of projects you have done, the kind of career aspirations you have, and then suggest you accordingly what kind of university you should be choosing, what kind of specializations. Because typically in Cornell WPC we always talk about the 3 C's which are very important. The first C is of course the country. You need to understand which country. Today globe is your arena. It's no more just Canada, it's just not US or Australia. And the entire globe, every country has its own advantages. Every country has its own set of universities and colleges which will give you good career opportunities. So A, you need to understand what kind of a country will help me to give myself a good career. Second, what kind of a course would help me to give a good career. And third, what kind of a college will help me to give a good career. A combination of these 3 C's is what will result in your 4th C, a good career. So ensure that whenever you're having such kind of a doubts, you are getting in touch with us one-to-one, so that it will be easier for us to evaluate your profile and suggest you the right 3 C's for you to pursue a good career. Now let me take up a few questions. I'm just running from back to front. Bipin has asked me a question saying, sir, my question was off track, sir. I had 23 backlogs and passed out in 2018. Bipin, 23. Alright. Electronics and communication engineering. I was thinking to go to Colorado. Is there any chance? Very honestly, universities would be very challenging for you, Bipin. But some of the colleges, yes, you can still give it a chance. Canada that way is, especially some of the colleges do accept around 8 to 10 backlogs, but 23 seems to be a larger number. I would either ways ask you to put across your profile in person, because it is, if not for Canada, understand, if one country does not accept you, there are multiple other countries, there are good enough countries which are open. And that's where, those of you who are attending this webinar, one of the other suggestion I would make to you is that on 8th of January, there is another webinar happening being done by one of our experts, Mr. Vijay Sudhakar, on Australia, the kind of opportunities in Australia, what it requires you to do good career in Australia. Do ensure that you are attending that webinar again 6 p.m. on Conrad WBC YouTube channel. So ensure that you are attending that webinar by Vijay Sudhakar on 8th of January. And then on 10th of January, Mr. Mohammed Abdullah, CEO of Conrad WBC, in fact Conrad Group, is doing a webinar on the US, especially the admission process, the application, how do we look at US, what kind of university is applying, and what is the kind of care one needs to take while you're doing the admission. How do you create a winning, profile, a winning application to ensure that you are getting a good admission is what he would be taking up. So ensure that you are attending those webinars, not missing those webinars, because that will help you also to get a broader understanding about other countries, what is happening out there, and what one should be looking at. All right. Yes. Now the other question is that, sir, I have scored 313 in GRE, band 8 IELTS, Yash Agarwal, fantastic, grad 67 BCom. I have planned to do an MS in business analytics, beautiful. Should I go for US or Canada? Will these marks be sufficient to get into good university? Yash Agarwal, just to give you an understanding, is your whatever credentials you mentioned so far, is it exciting? Answer is yes. BCom 67%, yeah, one academic mark doesn't really change the way universities see you, because you have a very good IELTS. Even if somebody had a wrong thought about you in your academics, understand, they respect your IELTS score, they respect your GRE score. Yes. Now, can I get an admission to top universities in the US or in Canada? Of course. Should I look at US and Canada? You should be looking at both of them. US is very good for business analytics, so my suggestion would be US, of course, for business analytics, but of course also Canada, because as I said, management and business education in Canada is picking up very well in comparison with the US. Now, how are my chances to get admission into the top universities? That is something we have to look at into one-to-one to understand your profile a little more deeper, because it is just not a subject of your GRE or your IELTS score. You have to tick boxes. You have ticked 2 of the boxes, but understand there is an SOP, there is a profile validation, we talk about the kind of projects you have done, the kind of research papers you might have worked with. So all this comes into picture. So once you share with us that kind of a detailed one-to-one interaction, when we have one-to-one interaction, we would be able to suggest you whether it will be US or Canada, and what are the changes or what are the enhancements you will do in your profile to help yourself admission to the top university. And of course, yes, your ambition is perfect. You should be looking at an admission into one of the top universities, both in the US and the Canada. And is it possible? The possibility I'm seeing, but the reality of course happens when we have a one-to-one understanding about your profile in detail as well. Alright. I'll take one quick last question. My experts are still available on the YouTube channel, and they will keep answering your questions in detail one by one. And as I said, in case any one of you believe that you have many more questions which you are not able to portray through this platform, please get in touch with us. Please, book a free appointment on Conrad WBC website or the channel. You can leave your, you can get in touch with one of our experts through that, and we would be more than happy to help you, to guide you, to to help you to understand. We have left our contact number as well there. Just give a call, book a free appointment. As I said, it's a free appointment. Do not worry. Our experts will spend time with you, understand your profile in detail in person, and then we'll guide you accordingly what you should be focusing on. All right. So one last question before we sign off. What is the total cost for masters in computer science in public universities like McGill? Dheeraj has asked. Dheeraj, I believe I did mention that. Let me possibly take you back to that place where I put across. Typically, the average cost of education in Canada is somewhere around 10 to 12 lakhs per annum. Okay, but when you look at top universities, the public universities, yes, the costing would be slightly higher, but the beauty here is that, look at this next segment, scholarships. You have a very high chance of getting scholarships in the public universities, and that is up to 40 to 50% scholarships. So even though you are looking at 25 to 30 lakhs of expense on the the cost of studies. When I talk about cost of studies, it also includes your living expenses, etc. But do appreciate the fact that you also have an opportunity to get a scholarship, especially when you are looking at public university, because it's among the top universities. Yes, McGill is a very good chance where we could get a scholarship as well. And it all, of course, boils down to a couple of things. Whenever people talk about scholarship, I keep telling them it boils down to your profile, your SOP, the kind of LORs you're creating, and of course also how early are you applying. It's end of the day, scholarships are like a grant. So if they're already consumed and by the time you apply there are no more grants left, then it's very hard for you. Instead of having a startling profile, you might still not able to get a scholarship. So scholarship is also metric of how early you are applying. So those of you who are in your pre-final year of your education, do ensure that you can start applying earlier. All right. Yes, Condir WWC is what I've been talking about. Those of you are looking at SOP help, visa assistance, etc., do get in touch with us. And as I mentioned, our next webinars which are happening on Australia and the USA, do not miss them. Subscribe to it right now. Register yourself for these events right away. Okay, and ensure that you're getting yourself an opportunity to hear out all the experts before you take a decision on where, how, and when. All right. So on that note, let me take your kind leave. Thank you all for attending today's webinar. I will once again meet you guys with a different webinar, possibly on Canada or some other country too, to help you guys to address a lot of your questions. Meanwhile, those of you who have any questions, any doubts, you need a one-to-one interaction, we are offering you. You can book an appointment with one of our experts. You can book an appointment with me or other experts. It's a free appointment. You just have to the link has been shared anyways. You just have to click on that and book your appointment, and we will get in touch with you. Or you can just give a call to our contact number provided out there, and we will get in touch with you. All right. All the very best, my dear friends. Understand that the Canada market is is the hot right now. The universities admissions are happening hot, so any decisions have to be taken a little quick, fast also, so that you're not missing the bus while other people are happily enjoying the flight to the Canada. You just can't be staring at that flight flying in the sky, right? So ensure that you're acting fast and you're acting smart and with the right set of people, because end of the day, it's not about just what college, it's a career as a total has to be evaluated and suggested and planned, right? Thank you, my dear friends. See you all. Thank you for attending this webinar. Take care. Bye-bye.